Togekiss Dragapult. This is one of the most common cores and just leads in general in VGC 2020 Pokemon Sword and Shield format. Both of these Pokemon are so amazing on their own, and they also just make such a powerful duo. So today we are going to be covering a bit of Togekiss Dragapult in depth, the lead as well as the Pokemon in general, and yeah, let's get into it. To understand this a little bit better, let's give a little bit of background on each of the Pokemon individually. Togekiss has been one of the most used Pokemon, if not the most used Pokemon, since Sword and Shield came out about 8 months ago. This Pokemon is absolutely insane. It has so many different tools. It can be used defensively, offensively. You can use it as a Dynamax Pokemon. You can use it as Super Luck or even Serene Grace. It has multiple ways of playing and multiple spreads that all are very powerful for this Pokemon. So let's take a look at this Pokemon individually. So Fairy Flying is really good typing. Fairy is great. It covers a lot. It's also part of one of the main type cores that we see, Fairy, Dragon, Steel. It's very, very powerful for many, many reasons. It also has, of course, Max Airstream, which is really good. It also has Max Starfall, which can, keep your guys from being statused. Very, very good stuff. Honestly, this Pokemon is just shown off so much in VGC 2020 when it's never really been used to this extent. This Pokemon is crazy. Its stats alone are just amazing. HP, defense, special defense, all are solid. It's very bulky, while also offering a lot of attack with 120 base special attack. It's not incredibly bulky, but with investments as well as just, being a good typing, it's really good. Speed at 80 is pretty solid as well. The Pokemon is fast while also being, pretty bulky and pretty offensive. Honestly, it's just a Swiss Army knife of a Pokemon, and it's just amazing. So let's talk about a little bit more of why it's so good. Well, first off, it has Follow Me, which is redirection, which is one of the most used things in VGC currently. It's so good. We have Rage Powder on things like Amoonguss, Follow Me on Togekiss and Indeedee. It's just so good, being able to make everything target it and only it. Not only do we only have redirection and bulk, we also have offense. This Pokemon has the ability Super Luck, which gives it +1 chance to get crit. Well, that's pretty good. But it also has access to the item called Scope Lens, which gives it another +1 to its crit chance, giving it a 50% chance when using both the ability and item in tandem. This is absolutely ridiculous. This has spawned so many memes and so many jokes about this format, being the whole fact that Togecrit is such an absurd Pokemon. 50% of the time you get a crit. Crits go through everything. They go through stat buffs. They go through your own stat debuffs. They go through Protect when you are using a max move. It's just absurd when you can use this Pokemon as an offensive Pokemon or defensive. One of the coolest things about this Pokemon is that it can be used offensively or defensively, and your opponent will never know until you start using things. That is, unless they use, something like Dusclops that shows Frisk, and then they see your Scope Lens and they're like, oh, well, it's a crit Togekiss. Or they see Babbery and they're like, okay, he's probably going to follow me. Here we have Dragapult. This Pokemon is very offensive. Honestly, it doesn't need too much of an introduction. Honestly, neither did Togekiss, but we will talk about it here for a moment. So, Dragapult has been very, very high usage ever since it came out. It did trend a little bit down. It was really, really highly used at the beginning. Now it's just really highly used. This Pokemon is very, very strong for many reasons. First off, Dragon Ghost is great offensive typing. You hit stab, super effective damage on most Pokemon. Not actually, but a lot of Pokemon, which is very good. It has a pretty deep move pool filled with a lot of great max moves that you can use. Things like Fly for Max Airstream for speed control. It even has Steel Wing, which allows it to hit super effective damage on Togekisses, as well as supplement your defense, which is just very, very good for the Pokemon. We also have access to Dragon Dance, which is pretty absurd because you could just use Follow Me Dragon Dance turn 1 with, Togekiss by its side. It's very good in general, and I've loved this Pokemon since it came out. It's just so good. Attack at 120 is pretty solid, and then speed at 142 is absurd. You also have special attack at 100 base, which is pretty good. We are very frail with this Pokemon, however, but, you Dynamax it, and then you usually will live one attack. It depends. Sometimes, there are attacks that just take you out. Also, I have a clear body here. It's pretty notable when we have a format flooded with Intimidate. Arcanine and Incineroar are on 50% of teams. Not actually, but pretty close to that. And it's very good to have clear body so that Intimidate doesn't matter. We're also in a format of Dynamax, which, it's littered with max moves that downgrade your opponent's Pokemon. Things like Max Wormwind that this Pokemon can dish out that just lower your opponent's stats, like attack stats and stuff. And you don't really want that with Dragapult. That's obvious. You don't want stat drops. Honestly, this Pokemon is just super powerful on its own. It doesn't even need to be beside Togekiss. But with all that being said, neither does Togekiss. But when they are used in tandem, it's a force to be reckoned with. So let's talk about what they do together. Both of these Pokemon can be played offensively or defensively. Togekiss has the option of Follow Me, always. Of course. You also have the option of Yawn. You have an attack. You have Switch. You can do a lot of stuff with this Pokemon. Well, you can also do a lot of stuff with Dragapult. You can Dragon Dance, you can Max Attack, you can Regular Attack, you can Switch, you can Protect. You could even use it supportively with things like Thunder Wave and Screens and Surf for your Colossal. It's honestly, these two Pokemon can do so much, and when you pair the two together, it's very, very scary. Togekiss Dragapult has taken multiple tournaments. It's also just been in so many top cuts of tournaments for good reason. So let's talk about some of the options. So first off, we have Follow Me Dragon Dance. Dragon Dance giving you +1 attack and +1 speed. Togekiss goes ahead and Follow Me. Your opponent has to attack that. You get a free Dragon Dance. Really, really strong. Next turn, you go for max moves, Max Wormwind, Max Airstream, Max Steel Spike if you want to, Max Phantasm. You can get huge stat buffs on your own Pokemon and huge stat debuffs on your opponent's Pokemon with Max Dragapult. You don't have to only do that. You could also just go Follow Me turn 1 and max attack into things if you are expecting a scary thing to happen. You can also attack with the Togekiss and then max attack with the Dragapult and just get huge damage onto your opponent's Pokemon. You also have supportive moves from Togekiss. You can use Yawn. You can Switch or Protect so that all you do is Yawn, but that's fine most of the time. You'll Yawn. You can also Helping Hand with an attack to make sure that you kill something. You can go into a Dusclops. You can hit it with Max Phantasm plus Helping Hand and most likely take the Oko. Yep, and I just ran the calc here real quick. Dragapult Helping Hand, Max Phantasm with Life Orb and Max Investment into 252 HP, 252 plus defense. Eviolite Dusclops, we are hitting 112 to 134%. Helping Hand plus Max Phantasm takes the guaranteed knockout on Eviolite Dusclops, which is one of the bulkiest Pokemon in the game. We have so many options, so many offensive options with this team that it's kind of just ridiculous. So that about does it for the common core of these two Pokemon. You have a lot of different Pokemon you can run it with. You have a lot of different ways you can run this. You don't even have to lead this. You can lead Togekiss plus something else. You can lead Dragapult plus something else. It really just is up to the player. But this is a very, very powerful core. So let's talk about ways to beat it. So how do we beat Togekiss Dragapult? Well, there are a couple of ways that are pretty strong against it. First off, let's talk about Duraludon. So it has the ability Stalwart, which gets through, it bypasses any kind of attack or ability that doesn't allow us to hit. So it hits through Ally Switch, it hits through Follow Me, it hits through anything, pretty much. Stalwart is really cool. And it also offers super effective damage with Max Wormwind. With 252 special attack Life Orb, Duraludon with Max Wormwind into a 4 HP, 0 defense Dragapult, maxed Dragapult, Dynamax Dragapult, we are hitting 105 to 124% guaranteed Oko. This is very, very good, especially if you have your own kind of Follow Me or Ally Switch or any kind of redirection with your guy so that, your opponent's Dragapult doesn't kill you. But yeah, you just kill it with Max Wormwind, which is very, very good. So Duraludon has a great matchup against it. Other Pokemon, other things that you can do, Trick Room is good. Dragapult is now slow. Trick Room works really well. It's a great option. But like I was saying, Dusclops doesn't really want to face down Togekiss Dragapult, and Porygon, it's fine. It's fine for that to happen. Max Wormwind won't do too much damage, and we're pretty much in the clear. So setting up Trick Room is really good, especially with Pokemon like Amoonguss in the back. Being able to spore Pokemon like the Dragapult, it's a very good option. Next, we have Sylveon. Sylveon does a lot of damage, also multi-targeting damage, which is very good. We have things like Hyper Voice plus Pixelate plus Pixie Plate, or Life Orb, or, Choice Specs, or even Throat Spray, doing a lot of damage to both Pokemon. 252 invested, modest nature, Sylveon Hyper Voice with Pixelate and Pixie Plate. That's a tongue twister. Into a Dynamaxed Dragapult, we are hitting 62 to 75%, which is a guaranteed 2-hit KO. Not too impressive there, but, you know, Max Wormwind won't lower its attack, and then you have the next turn being able to follow me, that turn follow me. You essentially just make it so that you 2-hit them, which is very, very good for Sylveon. Other things that you can do to beat it, status the Dragapult, Yawn, Will-O-Wisp, Thunderwave, do all of those things. They're all very good. But if your opponent's Togekiss follow me's, then, you know, you have to deal with that, and then the other guy. It gets a little messy, but, you know, there are ways to deal with Dragapult. Togekiss Dragapult is a really, really overwhelming lead, and even something that's crazy in the back. You know, a late game Dragapult can just help clean up so easily with fast Phantom Forces that get through Protect. It also has Dragon Darts for multi-targeting attacks. It's just very good in general, and, you know, it's hard to beat it late game even if so. Also, Max Togekiss can be very, very annoying with Super Lux Scope Lens. It's just really hard to deal with, and, you know, even if they don't lead it, it's going to be good. And it's probably going to be on their team. Anyway, that about does it for the actual lead. Let's go ahead and talk about some other ways that you can play it, or just other ways to add to this core. Togekiss Dragapult is a pretty small core. It's only 2 Pokemon. So you can play these 2 Pokemon, and then a lot of different Pokemon can be on your team other than that. So let's take a look at some Pokemon. If you were to play this team, what else to add to your team? So, to accompany Togekiss and Dragapult, a couple of things that we have here. So, first off, we have the Tyranitar. Help beat weather teams, it's very good. It also beats Psy Spam, which is very good against Togekiss and Dragapult, since it pretty much ignores the Follow Me, and can set up Trick Room. So, Tyranitar works really well against those Pokemon, having that Dark, so it's immune to the Psy Spam, which is very good. But, you know, of course, you'll have to be careful of Hatterene with Dazzling Gleam as well. You don't want to just lead like Dragapult and Tyranitar, because that could be really scary. Other things that we could add to that, especially if you're playing Tyranitar, you can play that Excadrill to make it very, very aggro. That is a very aggressive core. Dragapult plus Togekiss plus Tyranitar and Excadrill. It's a very, very aggressive core. Also, if you add that Excadrill to your team, you have that Fairy Dragon Steel core that hits for super effective damage to a lot of stuff. And also, Togekiss Excadrill is a really, really powerful lead as well. You know, those 4 Pokemon, Togekiss, Dragapult, Tyranitar, Excadrill, is a really, really powerful core, and actually something that I've been playing a lot recently. It's just so powerful. Next, we have our Incineroar here. He's just provides general support, Fake Out, Intimidate, Parting Shot. It's just a good Pokemon to have. It also gives you fire typing on your team, which is really good to just hit things like Amoonguss that really scare this Pokemon. Trick Room Amoonguss is very scary. So, you know, beating those Pokemon is pretty crucial. And honestly, you can just slap Incineroar on almost any team and it's just fine. Next, we have Amoonguss. Amoonguss works really well on this team, especially since, you know, it helps beat Trick Room teams. I've said before, an Amoonguss with Spore under Trick Room can be a win con on its own. And I wholeheartedly agree with that. I think that's really, really powerful. And when you have a team that doesn't really like going up against Trick Room, it's great to have something for Trick Room. And Amoonguss is a really, really good Pokemon for that. And last but not least, we have the young Rillaboom here as well. Very, very solid. It has Fake Out and Knockoff, which is great. It has Superpower for Ice-type Pokemon that threaten both Togekiss and Dragapult. It also has Knockoff for Porygon 2, which can be a problematic Pokemon. And it's just good in general. It also provides Grassy Glide / Woodhammer for really niche matchups like Lapras Gmax, which isn't even that niche. Lapras Gmax is played pretty frequently, and, you know, having an out to that is pretty solid. Lapras Gmax offers super effective max resonances against both Togekiss and Dragapult, and Rillaboom, but, you know, he hits pretty hard with Woodhammer or the Grassy Glide. Anyway, that about sums up our other Pokemon that we can use on this team. Honestly, it's really just good stuff. You know, obviously things like Cinderace, Whimsicott, you can just go down the line of every good Pokemon, and they'll probably work on this team. It's only a 2 Pokemon core, so why wouldn't anything not work, you know? I think I said too many negatives there, but still. I think it'll almost always just work. It's a very strong core. Let's take a look at some teams that have proven themselves to be good. So, just recently we had the Players' Cup, and these are both topping Players' Cup's teams that both used Togekiss Dragapult. The first one we have here is Super Santi, his team. I found this on Twitter. Go check him out. Link for his Twitter will be down in the description below. He actually posted this rental code, so if you want to, play this team, this Rillaboom, Incineroar, Togekiss, Dragapult, Colossal, Urshifu team, then check his Twitter out. Give him a follow, give him a like. This team has the young Dragapult, but it is a dual usage Dragapult, which is really cool. So first off, Togekiss Dragapult lead is very good. We talked about this. Follow Me's max moves is very good. It doesn't have Dragon Dance on this set, but it's still really strong. We also have dual usage though, because it also has Surf, which allows our Colossal to get really, really strong and set up for great max Vocalists. So it's pretty good. The team synergizes really well with that really powerful triad core of Togekiss, Dragapult, and Colossal. It also features a couple of really good endgame sweepers, as well as just good leading Pokemon, things like Incineroar, the Rillaboom, and the Urshifu. The other team we have here is a Hyper Aggro team. I forgot whose team this was, but this is a rental code that I snagged a while ago. I've been playing around with this team as well. This was the team that I was working on for a little while. I was playing around with the core of Tyranitar, Excadrill, Togekiss, Dragapult, and then Incineroar, Mungus, like I said, just works. But yeah, somebody topped the Players' Cup with this. I'm sorry that I forgot who it was, but, it's a very, very strong, proven team, and yeah, I mean, these are just teams that happened recently, but if you look through, all tournaments that have happened in VGC, or in VGC 2020, rather, you'll see a lot of Togekiss Dragapult, and for a good reason. Like I've been saying this whole time, it's really good. That's really all it comes down to. It's really powerful. It's super versatile. It works against almost all matchups. It's not really afraid. It's not super afraid of very many things. And honestly, it's just so good. Also, both the Pokemon can be great leads with anything else. Togekiss, Amoonguss. I've been leading that a lot recently, and it's just so powerful. Follow Me Spore is scary. It shuts down Porygon Z, which has been really, really popular lately. It shuts down Dragapult. It shuts down Cinderace. It shuts down Colossal. It shuts down everything. The only scary thing is your opponent switches Rillaboom and you lost a turn. But then they only attacked with one guy anyway, so it's just good anyway. Togekiss can be a great max Pokemon as well as Dragapult being a great max Pokemon. You can play this team hyper aggressive, or you can play just that 2 core and then play multiple supporting Pokemon and play it as a defensive mid-range team. Honestly, I'm just a really big fan of Togekiss Dragapult, and I think, it's probably one of the best cores we've seen this format, and a very strong core, especially in a restricted format without legendaries and everything. So it's just really good. Thanks so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, follow me on Twitter, join my Discord, do all of those things. I hope you had a good time watching this video, and I hope you enjoy more of my videos in the future. Goodbye.